I know this sounds like privilege.
Why we?
Or a spoiled brat whining about being lazy and then trying to rationalize it somehow. But that's the point that I'm trying to make. It's not laziness. It has never been laziness or boredom or exhaustion or needing more time or taking a break or any of these excuses when it comes to doing things for other people. Like, work was always first priority. Education was always first priority. Friends are always first priority. Favors for strangers off the street have been first priority. And I've never put those things off or said, oh, later, or no, can do, buddy, or any of those things. I've lost sleep over doing things for others. I've made a lot of sacrifices on personal fronts to show up for others. And yet, somehow, I can't bring myself to do the bare minimum when it comes to doing things for me. And I don't understand why there's so much resistance on my part on following through on stuff for my own shit. Like, why do I need to be told what to do by someone else? Does that make me spineless? Like, yeah, I have the dreams, but that doesn't make me special. Everyone has dreams. It's cool to have dreams. It's cool to say you have dreams. It makes you think you're destined for more. It makes you think you're better than you are. It makes you think you actually have ambitions and possibly even a personality. But it doesn't automatically mean that I am deserving of them because I don't seem to have the discipline or maybe even the talent or skills to follow through and achieve them. Does that mean that I'm just a wannabe? I just claim to have dreams to seem cool or make up dreams to fill the gap between what I have and what I'm expecting? Or to distract from my overwhelming unsatisfaction with myself and present circumstances? I guess I'm not ideal entrepreneur material, then, am I? More importantly, does this mean I'm never gonna show up on a 30 under 30 list, like ever? Yeah, I don't really know why. Or rather, I don't know exactly why. Because I genuinely do want these things, these dreams, and I have for decades. But I'm finding it really difficult to start acting on them and bring them to life, and consequently myself to life as well. But now that my own failures are staring me in the face, I'm starting to wonder exactly what have I been nursing for decades? Dreams or delusions? Have I just been dreaming big without thinking of the reality that it takes to fulfill the same? I don't know if it's because subconsciously I don't think I can achieve these things, so I'm not putting in the effort because I think it'll lead to failure anyway, or if it's because I'm seriously underestimating what it takes to be successful or happy or follow your dreams in what, as the uncles call, the digital age. But really, especially when you keep hearing stories of random people being instantly successful overnight or on a fluke. Success, of course, in these cases, meaning only in terms of money or fame. I mean, I can't comment on whatever success means to them personally and if they feel like they've achieved it or whatever. The point is that they're still taking a chance. They're still putting themselves out there and doing something. And that's more than what I can say for myself. Especially when I'm somehow twisting it around in such a way that even a random stranger's success or an already successful artist's continued successes are somehow adding insult to my injury. Like, I'm nursing these wounds as if they aren't self-inflicted to begin with, as if I'm not the one who allowed them to become a festering sore. I don't know. Maybe dreams are just for those willing to go to the ends of the earth to make it happen. Or for those who even just try. Or for the really rich and really privileged, but that's a discussion for another day. Maybe I'm just overestimating how much I'm capable of, and I'm overextending myself and trying to do all of these things all at the same time and end up scattered and not doing any of it. And that's how I'm feeling right now, just scattered and bitter. Is that what growing up is supposed to be? Realizing that some dreams are meant to be just that, only dreams, that not everyone is meant to live an extraordinary life. Because, life's what you make it, so let's make it suck. Make it suck, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't seem right though. Like, it doesn't seem like a crossroad between growing up and realizing that childish dreams are meant for children, or bucking the fuck up and putting in the work somehow to just make it happen. What, like if you're past a certain age, you have to take out the dentures and call it a day. You're no longer allowed to dream or have aspirations because they're unrealistic at this point. Like, you have to make the choice of surviving and adjusting to reality and possibly never feeling fulfilled. Or quite simply choosing to do what makes you happy by just doing it. It seems much more complex than just doing it though. Like, if it was a matter of just doing it, then I wouldn't be here bitching about it. And if it was simply a matter of laziness, then I wouldn't be bending over backwards to do work for someone else. But maybe that's what it takes. Following your dreams doesn't come easy. The path of doing what you want to do, doing what you say makes you happy, isn't served to you on a platter. And it's harder now because there's no one else that you need to answer to for not following through. And the only consequence you face is of disappointing yourself and having to live with the shame and guilt forever. But it's not like those are feelings that we haven't felt before. Feelings that we've probably felt every single day. Feelings of never doing enough or never being enough, and trying so hard to repress them for years and years that now ignoring them is like second nature to us. I say us and we, but really I mean I and me. But maybe this is all there is to life. Maybe I have been living all this time and never noticed it because, frighteningly enough, that really is all there is to it. Maybe I'm only a failure because of these expectations of more that I've been clinging on to for dear life. Expectations that I can't meet simply because they're not for me. Maybe life is mostly mundane and routine and doing things every day that don't necessarily excite you but make ends meet. Maybe dreams are for those 1 in a million people who are lucky enough to apparently have made it. I mean, yeah, there's definitely hard work involved, there's talent involved, there's passion, dedication, there's all these other rote words that we hear on the daily in relation to these people. But what about all the I wanted to be's that we hear occasionally? I mean, if we even bother asking the people who haven't made it according to mainstream standards. What about the I wished fors and the I thought I could be's or the I used to be's that surround our everyday life? Isn't that more realistic? At least statistically? Is that what life is like on the other side of the crossroad? Is it just a path lined with what ifs and I wish? Or is it not about choosing between two completely different and diverging paths on a crossroad? Maybe it's not all two roads diverged into a yellow wood, and I took the one less traveled by. Maybe it's an illusion of choice. Like the crossroads can't strictly be of one path of choosing to grow up and make cut and dry decisions to weed out all the dreams that you've cherished for so long just because they haven't grown how you wanted them to, or grown at all. Or choosing the other path of Jack and the Beanstalk, of inflated expectations rooted in fantasy that end up choking your dreams. And now they're lying shriveled up and dead. Because the daydreaming and the unrealistic expectations tainted it. And now it's just a warped caricature that no longer resembles itself. So what then? Is it just the cliche of forging a new path? Of being an adult and paying taxes, as well as being a child and allowing your dreams to blossom as you continue to pursue them? Only now you can't afford to allow the child full reign. Instead, you have to step up as the adult and lead the child by the hand towards consistently scheduled playdates where they can still run wild. But are they now weighed down by the demands of reality? Or is it now more important than ever to believe that success is subjective and secondary, and it doesn't matter as long as you're doing what makes you happy? That ordinary isn't derogatory, but extraordinary is an anomaly? Is that the answer to the question of, am I living or failing or succeeding or whatever? It's all about keeping your inner child alive and happy. And as long as you're running, you're living. So just keep running. Okay. Does the answer to all of life's questions boil down to just keep swimming? Wow, okay. So this metaphor got way out of hand. I don't know if any of that made sense. God, it just never stops, does it? It's just one fucking existential question after another. Well, this has all been great to talk about and think about, but doesn't really help me figure out how to wake the fuck up on time and actually do the fucking work in the morning now, does it? How does figuring out that I need to keep the inner child alive help me with self-discipline? How the fuck am I supposed to deal with my own resistance in working towards my dreams? What, now I gotta be twice the adult that I've ever been to keep the child alive and the dream alive and the taxes alive and myself alive? So what? Does this mean I have to go running now? Or swimming? Fuck. Just keep on keeping on, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll just start all over and have a designated meme time and work time and see how that plays out for now. Is designated meme time an oxymoron? Or am I the moron? One crisis at a time, please. Okay, bye.